It is time now for our rants and raves of the week, and I'll start with you, Dan.
I have a rave for Washington Post executive editor Marty Barron, and also for our old pal and Boston Globe editor Brian McGrory.
Mm-hmm.
They both, at pretty much the same time this week, issued a call for accelerating the transition to digital. Both papers have made a lot of progress in this area, but they say it hasn't been enough, it hasn't been fast enough. Brian McGrory sent a memo to his staff saying, we're going to move to more of a continuing breaking news desk, 16 to 18 hours a day, because digital is what our reporters are expecting. And he talked about
our readers.
Our readers are expecting.
I know. I was away last week, and I was getting all my stuff that way. And in some ways, it doesn't change fast enough. I agree.
That's right.
I was following Twitter for Tsarnaev, but
sure. And Marty Barron gave a speech at the University of California in, I believe, the Riverside campus. I might be wrong about that. In which, again, the Washington Post has made a lot of progress on digital, but he said, we're just a few years away from print going away. Readers prefer getting it in digital these days. As much as we've done, we have to keep pushing. And I think that for two prominent newspaper editors like this to make this statement, it was an important moment.
And it's interesting that both those editors are editors at papers that have been purchased in the last couple of years by people of extreme means.
Yes.
Which is actually important because it means that they have the momentary, the temporary at least, financial flexibility that they don't need to be chasing profits right now. At the moment, the money is still in print, but they have the freedom to skate to where the puck is going to be.
That's a good point.
Right. Good. Callie.
I was just taken with the story that the Republican, which is a website in Western Massachusetts, and they cover things in that part of the state, they asked about the finances of a concert called the Blarney Blowout Concert. This was at UMass. How much did you pay for it? What went on here? Blah, blah, blah. And the University of UMass said, well, if we look up all the documents and give you what you've asked for, it's too broad-based, it's going to cost $10,000. Really? $10,980.90 to be exact. And so the Republican says, well, we can't afford that. And they said, well, their request was too much. Now, meanwhile, the university paid $305,000 for the concert, said over 5,000 students attached. I think that's odd for UMass to say it'll cost you $10,000 to get information about something we had on our campus. Is this not a public institution?
What was the point of knowing? What was the issue?
Well, they wanted to find out, it's a big old concert, and how much did you pay for this, as we talk about finances on campus and where money is being spent and all of that. How much you pay for this?
It's yet another deterrent to the open records
There's
law.
a lot of call to reform the public records law in
Absolutely.
Massachusetts, and this feeds right into that.
It
Exactly
does.
right.
Yeah.
All right, Josh.
BuzzFeed earlier this week had a story up about Dove's recent advertising campaign. I don't know. I think we have an image of it. One thing that I don't know if you've seen it, but it's in their classic set of ads around female beauty. Some women found it a little bit insulting that they asked women to either walk through a door labeling themselves beautiful or average. And BuzzFeed wrote this piece that was a perfectly well-argued piece by this woman saying that it was insulting and a bad idea. BuzzFeed then, not too long after, took the piece down without initial explanation. Some people noticed that Dove is also an advertiser on BuzzFeed. Ben Smith, who was a terrific editor at BuzzFeed, said that it wasn't taken down as a result of advertiser pressure. Sure. It was instead taken down because they are trying to stop having sort of riffs off of news. They wanted to have more reporting, to have fewer hot takes, as it's sometimes known in the business. But then today it came out that they also published a piece not too long ago saying that Monopoly is a terrible board game. And they took down the piece after Hasbro, Monopoly's corporate parent, decided to start becoming an advertiser with BuzzFeed. They didn't just take it down, they actually wrote code on their website that said that Google would be banned from keeping a copy of the page, so no one could see it.
That's a fail.
Wow.
BuzzFeed has a lot of questions. They're moving from a site that has lots of pictures of cats and funny videos to trying to be a real news organization. They have hired a lot of terrific, talented journalists. They have really smart people working there. But this is the kind of ethical landscape they're having to navigate.
All right, Marjorie.
Well, you and I have talked a lot about this, and it's too late for the Tsarnaev trial because we're moving into the death penalty phase now. But this is the state of the affairs because it's a federal trial that we will never hear his voice. We will never see him. We have pictures that, in my experience, don't look much like him. And I'm mad at us in the media because a lot of my colleagues that should know better think that this is about the Supreme Court and what they think about cameras in the courtroom, and that's a part of it. But Congress could change this. And our delegation, shame on all of them, because they could have fought. There's legislation in there already. Stephen Lynch, our Congressman Stephen Lynch, is one of the people that's pushed for this, but that would open up the courtrooms. Congress could do it. Our delegation should have pushed it. It is a disgrace that we cannot see trials in our name in 2015, and shame on us in the media for not making a bigger deal about that.
This was the time to do it. This is where the momentum should have been.
Yeah, the people
there
are
is a movement
tweeting.
of what I've read about this, the open access. It's and maybe a California-based organization, but this is the one that should have been open.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
reporters have to tweet from the courtroom. It's really just crazy.
And you're right; those sketches look nothing like
They don't
him.
look anything like him, and reporters should have gone after our delegation, and we didn't.
Okay, well, finally tonight I have a rave for Bob Schieffer, who announced this
Yes.
week that he's going to be departing Face the Nation, but CBS News really. He has been one of the stalwarts, backbone. He filled in for Dan Rather when Dan went through his troubles. He was, White House correspondent. He covered the Kennedy assassination. We're going to miss him. And he's such a nice, gentle guy with a great Texas drawl and great stories, great storyteller.
Funny
and
guy,
funny and
and
friend
smart,
to-
smart.
yeah,
Yeah.
smart.
Effortlessly. You just trusted him immediately.
Yeah.
You didn't
Affable,
have to try.
approachable. There's
And it
just
should be
nothing.
noted,
you can
this whole
say.
ageism in our business now, the ratings have stayed up with
Yeah.
him. That's one of the reasons they don't want to let him go. And the guy's like, please, I'd like to retire.
He's only 78. All right, well, that's our show. Tell us what you think. Email us, tweet us, or leave a comment. We're always on at beatthepress.org.